All right, so welcome back to Devopsdays Online. My name is Pieter, and I'm joined here today by Pieter Reekers. So Pieter, tell me, you told me a funny story just as we were preparing for this interview, where you did a workshop today at Devopsdays Amsterdam, and you kind of had to adjust a little bit because of one of the attendees. Now, I don't want to call them out specifically, but I thought it's a nice example to kind of see A, where technology is taking us, but B, also how we have to plan for all kinds of eventualities.
Yeah.
So tell me the story. What happened?
Yeah, we submitted a workshop to present at Devopsdays in Amsterdam because we wanted to show attendees, how our platform works, to give some hands-on experience because we think that really helps with the Devopsdays audience.
Mm-hmm.
But when preparing for that, we realized that we don't really know who's going to show up. What is the experience level in the different programming languages? Are people able to run things like Docker? If they maybe work at a bank, their whole laptop is locked down and you can't really do anything. So that was actually the moment that we decided to adopt Gitpod,
Mm-hmm.
which is a cloud development environment. It allowed us to really prepare different vulnerable applications that we can, prepare the agents that we use for that. It integrates with Git, so you could hook up our own repos to it. It offers an online IDE, and it also runs the applications. So
Right.
we didn't need to worry about, scaling things. We didn't need to worry about the actual device that someone's using. And that actually turned out great because we first of all had someone working for a bank joining the session with a fully locked down laptop, so they couldn't do anything, and someone else joined the session on an iPad, which was kind of unexpected. But
Which doesn't run Docker.
yeah, it
Right.
doesn't really run Docker in it. It couldn't even open the YAML files. So, it showed that the decision was the right one eventually, even though it was a bit of more hassle to set up.
Mm-hmm.
It was the right decision eventually. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a nice parallel to make between, setting up a workshop like this and kind of planning for different eventualities and kind of the broader DevOps ecosystem where you never know what's around the corner. You never know what your next step is, or, you know what your next step is. But beyond that, it's all dependent on the data you have. And so I think it's an interesting example of kind of showcasing how to work in an agile way. Which I think is, that's kind of the interesting part about DevOps and being part of this community. Obviously, is it's fluent, it's fluid, it moves, it morphs. So I think the workshop example is it's kind of it's interesting to see, right? It's interesting to see.
Automation is really key, and being able to anticipate on all kinds of different scenarios was really important because there were a lot of unknowns. It took a bit more time to set up, but it was worth it. Yeah.
Right. So tell me about the workshop, just because I'm curious. I like technology.
Yeah.
What was the workshop about?
The workshop was about an introduction of application security testing, but then via instrumentation.
Right.
So we wanted to, don't do a full-blown big thing, but we wanted to give some highlights of, what could instrumentation do in application security testing? How does it, why is it faster? Why is it more accurate? Why is it more automated compared to the traditional approaches? And also, why does that work better in DevOps environments? Because, the feedback loop is really important to have a short feedback loop to give developers fast feedback on, what they are actually building.
Yeah.
Whilst they're building, you can't really afford to wait, 6 weeks until the pen test is done, and then you get some information on vulnerabilities, and only then you can fix it, right?
Yeah.
So the workshop was about, instrumentation as a basis for application security testing, and the attendees could start an application, a deliberately vulnerable application that we prepared, add our instrumentation software into the application, and from there, basically by browsing through the application, discover vulnerabilities, and then, of course, we provide a platform where you can actually see those vulnerabilities, including some guidance how to fix those vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
And that we did it in 45 minutes. Was a bit tight.
That sounds really tight.
Yeah, it was a bit tight, but we got it working. And I'm really glad that people showed up with an iPad so that we could support the decision to use Gitbot.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And I mean, 45 minutes is limited.
Yeah.
But of course, the goal is kind of to give people a teaser,
Yeah.
just a little introduction, so that they have the tools and kind of the context to then go and find out more on their own, right?
Yeah, and it keeps working. And we also provided the community edition, and that's free forever.
Yeah.
So that is available for everyone, and that is free forever. So that's kind of cool. Yeah.
All right, so talk to me about maybe the most important part of your presence here at Devopsdays Amsterdam, and Eindhoven as well, I presume.
We didn't sign that yet, but
we'll make that happen.
We were there last year. Yeah.
So Devopsdays in Amsterdam always has DevHops, which is a fun play on words to provide an alcoholic beverage of sorts. So this year we're going with Gebrouwen Vrouwen, and I think a Bloesem beer.
Bloesem Blond.
Yeah, Bloesem Blond. So yeah, we're happy you're part of that. We're happy to be able to give that to our audience.
Yeah.
And so for now, let's wrap it up. Let's say thank you to you for sponsoring, for being here, for doing the workshop, and we'll catch you all later.